From elderly care, ongoing care, to fun in the sun, we focus on health in this episode of Inside the South Valley.
La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la la.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Inside the South Valley. With healthcare reform on everyone's minds as baby boomers become seasoned citizens, I caught up with Valerie Alves, President and CEO of Pacific Hills Manor, to get an inside look on their facility and what they do to help their patients stay healthy. And I'm not talking about taking their medication or showing up to their physical therapy appointments. I'm talking about living a truly healthy lifestyle.
My name is Valerie Alves, and I'm the CEO of Pacific Hills Manor. Nestled in Morgan Hill. It's right next to St. Catherine's Hospital. St. Catherine's Church. It's a 99-bed skilled nursing facility. So we take care of mostly an elderly population. Some people younger than that, if you have your hip done or your knee, or maybe you've had a stroke and you need some rehab on an inpatient basis, this is the kind of facility you would do that in. I originally came to Pacific Hills 6 years ago now, and I started originally as the dietitian, which is what I've done most of my career. I've been in long-term care since 1993, always as a dietitian. And I came here doing that. I live here in the community. I've lived here about 11 years. And my boss ended up being promoted, so I went through an administrator and training program and took over about 4 years ago now as the administrator. Originally, I started as the executive director, was my title, and then there was a business just started doing really well. We really had a great staff. Everything sort of got dialed, and one of the things our company will do when you run your business successfully is they'll give you a promotion, and in our business, in our industry, I achieved the title of CEO.
Running Pacific Hills Manor as a successful business is exactly right. This facility not only has gone from good to great, they've received a lot of attention for it too. When you visit their lobby, you can't help notice their cabinet displaying their awards earned year after year. And you can't get that level of recognition without strong management, strong leadership, and an outstanding company culture.
We've got a really sharp population, so they're still bingo fans for sure, but it's also bunco. And it's poker, and there's casino nights, a lot of gambling going on in Pacific Hills. And there's men's groups where they do sports. We have a lot of entertainment come in, so we have a lot of people come and perform for us. In this community, we're very lucky to have people that really want to be involved with the seniors. So they'll come in, and we have this tap dancing group that comes. We have that are sort of senior citizens in the community, but that's what they do, and they come here and do that for our group. Accordion crew that comes in. It's just really nice. So the activity rooms had to be bigger to accommodate that. The other thing they've done in this facility is there's two really nice big interior patios. Rooms that line those open up so that people can go out on the patio. Again, it gives them a place to visit, and the weather in Morgan Hill is always gorgeous. So it gives them a place to, if their friends come and bring them lunch, they can all sit out on the patio together and have lunch. It's just a nice option. You can get outdoors when you want to get outdoors.
As I spent the day with Valerie, I immediately noticed how much she really cares about the staff who works there and the patients that they take care of. In fact, she knows everyone by their first name. This really is a place where everyone knows your name. Patients absolutely love Pacific Hills Manor too.
This is an ideal place for people like me. I will say that. I have to yell every once in a while to get attention, but if you take care of yourself a little, it's ideal.
After chatting with Dorothy, I later was able to catch up with Liz Strotman, Area Marketing Director at Pacific Hills Manor, to discuss some of the services they offer to their patients.
Pacific Hills Manor take a lot of pride in how many patients that we send home or to a lower level of care every year. We track that and we take a lot of pride in that. Last year we sent home over 300 patients. I know, it's impressive. And this year, this winter already, it's over 100. So we're trending ahead of that for the year.
So you're already above your curve.
Yeah, we're already above the curve. And our goal is to always get someone back home with their family, because that's what we're about, families serving families. And we just love to do that. They can have surgery here at St. Louis. They can have surgery in San Jose. And a lot of times it's orthopedic surgery or cases of pneumonia. People are just deconditioned for whatever reason. And they come and stay with us, and we help them get stronger through physical therapy, occupational therapy, or speech therapy. And one of the fantastic things about Pacific Hills Manor is the continuum of care, because we offer outpatient therapy.
Perfect.
So if somebody is rehabbed with us, they're going to be going home, but yet they're going to carry on with some physical therapy maybe 2 or 3 days a week. We use our outpatient van, which is so nice. It's air conditioned and very comfortable. Everybody's real cozy. We go pick them up at their home. They come and have physical therapy with us. Then we bring them back to their home. So it's a wonderful little stretch of the inpatient therapy to extend to our outpatient therapy.
Now that van, is there an extra charge, or is that on the house, so to speak?
It's on the house, Nathan. It's a complimentary service. Yes, it's complimentary, and we just love to do it. Well, myself as a marketing director, I'm responsible to our physicians, letting them know what kind of patients we can rehab, if we have bed availability, if it's long-term, if it's short-term. I work with case management at all the hospitals here in Morgan Hill and also in San Jose. We get referrals for rehab up all the way through San Francisco Palo Alto at Stanford Hospital. We get referrals from Stanford Hospital. We rehab those patients because they could be from our community, but they go to a larger, like a teaching hospital, which is Stanford, for certain conditions. So it's my responsibility to tell our story and get the word out of how we can help our community and people that live here. We have a registered dietitian dedicated to solely our patients. So through therapeutic diets, whether it's low sodium, low fructose, any kind of special diet we handle here. And you know, they say food is the biggest pill you take. That is the biggest influence on your health. So the registered dietitian is a very important piece of our patients' health. And then also we have a full social service department. So through social services, we can help them, whether it's going to a boarding care or assisted living, help them facilitate to the next phase of where their new life might be. You know, they used to call these places rest homes. Well, nobody rests here. There's no resting going on, Nathan, none whatsoever. No resting. I mean, we have full-on activities. We're involved in the Morgan Hill Parade. Our residents are in that. Our activity department is very engaging, and that is an important part of therapy also. You know, you've got the social service aspect, the emotional need, then the fun part of it, the activity. And we pride ourselves on a very dynamic activity department here at Pacific Hills Manor. And it's the whole person approach. The whole patient approach, the whole person approach, that's here at Pacific Hills Manor one of the things that we really excel in. When people go out back into the community, that's the number one feedback that we get, that it was a full experience, that we took care of all their needs, and it wasn't just rehabbing a hip replacement or a knee replacement. It was 3 and 4 and 5-fold. And anybody that would like to come at any time and take a tour here, we would love to show off our beautiful patio and our facility. And also we do offer pre-registration. So should you have a knee replacement, hip replacement, a pre-scheduled surgery, you could come in and do your pre-paperwork and reserve a room, and we'll have it all set for you and shiny and ready to go for when you're ready for your rehab.
I continued my conversation with Valerie to talk about their community involvement.
Every year, we have an entry in the 4th of July parade. So we decorate wheelchairs, and the people up at West Hills Church, there are official pushers. They come along and they help push the people in their wheelchairs and get them through the parade route. And one of the wonderful things they do at the 4th of July parade for us is we're located right on the parade route. In most entries, they all meet down near the railroad tracks, and they wait, and they've got to wait a while, and then when their turn comes, and then they go in, and it can be a couple of hours that they're out there. So what the 4th of July parade does for us and our elderly population in their wheelchairs is that when our spot comes in the parade, as they pass in front of our facility, they make a little gap, and our people join in right there. So they're able, they don't have to sit in the, it's always 110 when we do the 4th of July parade here. So they don't have to sit in the heat too long. Our residents line up right out in front of the building so they can all watch. And then our people that are participating go through and make the route, and then they come right back down. So it's really nice. They love participating. The other thing we do is, and if you ask my staff about those residents, they will tell you how much they love them and how much, I'll get choked up, how much it's like they're taking care of the grandma. It's like we have, our motto is family serving family. I can't imagine doing anything else.
When Fry's decided to sponsor a PGA Open, it was at the second best golf course in California, Cordoval, located in the South Valley. And the gold medal winner at the 2010 San Francisco wine competition wasn't from the Napa Valley, it was Solis Winery, located in the South Valley. Of course, the South Valley has a lot more to offer than touting the best golf or wine. Whether you're looking for shopping, festivals, parks, or a variety of restaurants, you won't need a special occasion to come visit the South Valley. All you need is an average day.
Well, hello everyone and welcome back. We're sitting here with Dr. Brad Moreau of Smith Moreau Chiropractic. Hi, Dr. Brad Moreau. Thanks for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me, Nate. Thanks for coming up to the office. Really appreciate you being here.
Sure. So let's go ahead and jump in here, and let's talk a little bit about your history.
Into UC Davis, where I graduated with a degree in cellular biology. After UC Davis, I went into research, basically. And that research took me through some stem cell research, cancer cell research. As a research associate, is that we were developing these therapies for people who already had, major diseases. They had a very big stroke, or they had some type of cancer that had taken away part of their function. I mean, these people were dealing with problems that they already had, instead of trying to prevent problems that they were going to have. And I had some of my own health issues at the same time, which is actually why I even got into science in the first place. I had looked into veterinary medicine and classic medicine, and I really didn't change my focus until I got hurt myself. It was after I used to do some rowing. I developed some back pain and insomnia, like really bad. I would only sleep about 4 hours a night, and I had taken the traditional routes of trying to take some medicine, some anti-inflammatories, stretching, physical therapy, exercise, calm the body down, do some normal things, the classic stuff. And it wasn't until I finally just kind of branched out and took a chance, and I went to see a couple chiropractors actually, that my life really got back on track. That I really started to recover and then grow. And I don't have insomnia anymore. I don't have anywhere near. I don't even have back pain anymore. Nothing like that. And it had made such a difference in me that it ultimately made. That's what made me go, no, there's something to this. I need to figure out more. And that's just what I ended up doing. I got myself back into school at chiropractic college, and I applied my knowledge of the sciences and expanded it with my chiropractic education.
So when you were at school, or just a little bit after you finished up in Hayward, you went over to Asia.
The college organizes these trips every so often, but this was the first of its kind to go to Cambodia. We helped out a lot of people. I think over 1,200 people we helped.
Wow.
And all the way from young kids, an old child. The youngest one I worked on was like 3 months old. Yes, chiropractic care is for for all ages, all ages. Oldest one I probably cared for, I couldn't even guess the age, but probably somewhere in the 80s.
70s, 80s, wow.
At least 80s, at least 80s, maybe 90s. I mean, really.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, someone who's advanced in age but still moving. They're walking around, moving like anybody else. So it was really quite an experience. We had a general that was there. Actually, one of the doctors knew, and that's why we had some protection. And this was one of those guys, you know, classic general, silent type. Doesn't speak little, but say much more with just a look. Commanding presence, right? And so, you know, he had watched us we were there 2 weeks. He had watched us for about a week, just adjusting people and taking care of all these other people, but he hadn't himself been adjusted as of yet. So they invited us to their house, and they had a great dinner and everything, but after all the festivities were done, they were like, oh, can you adjust us? The family was like, can you guys adjust us? And so there was about 20 of them there. I mean, their families are big. So about 20 of them there, and I started working on a couple of people, and then the general just, because it was just kind of sit down at the table and I'll start to take care of you, work on you. So the general picks me, and so I worked on him, and then after that, they were so impressed with what we were able to do. Not to say it was all coming from my adjustment, but I think overall, his experience with what we were doing, he actually wanted us that in the next trip, next year to come around, he wanted us to work at their army hospital to take care of his soldiers, because he thought it was that important that his soldiers get adjusted on a regular basis.
As I followed Dr. Moreau around for the day, I was able to get a better understanding for not only what chiropractors do, which goes way above and beyond the stereotype of spine alignment. I got the sense that Dr. Moreau and his staff really care about their patients. His practice is much more than a chiropractic practice. It's actually more like a wellness center. Dr. Moreau and his staff are fully dedicated and focused in helping their patients maintain a healthy lifestyle.
We don't do just chiropractic. I use my science background of cellular biology, and I look at labs. You know, we do laboratory testing for allergies, for hormones. We're not focused on just getting someone's symptoms done with. We don't want to just focus on just their pain. We want them to say, okay, we can take care of that. We know we'll be able to take care of that. But we want to make sure that you are balanced and that you're able to live the optimum life, fantastic health. And the best way we do that is by being able to educate our patients and developing specific healthcare plans for them, because everybody's an individual.
It's not cookie cutter.
There's no cookie cutter. There really isn't. Everyone's different, and that's where we want to bridge the gap between healthy lifestyle, their lifestyle, and what is going to be their healthy lifestyle, which may not be what everyone just tells you, oh, did you read this book and start doing this diet? No. We customize it. That's why we use all the different tools we use.
Dr. Moreau personally reviews each patient's medical records and develops a specific plan for that patient. He takes his patients on a case-by-case basis. His bedside manner is very personable, and his patients feel very comfortable talking to Dr. Moreau about their personal medical issues because he's so approachable. At this practice, it's health for life. And for Dr. Moreau, it's just another day at the office.
When Fry's decided to sponsor a PGA Open, it was at the second best golf course in California, Cordoval, located in the South Valley. And the gold medal winner at the 2010 San Francisco wine competition wasn't from the Napa Valley, it was Solis Winery, located in the South Valley. Of course, the South Valley has a lot more to offer than tallying the best golf or wine. Whether you're looking for shopping, festivals, parks, or a variety of restaurants, you won't need a special occasion to come visit the South Valley. All you need is an average day.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back. I'm staying here at Woodchopper's Picnic Area at Lake Anderson on the backside, which happens to be the largest lake in Santa Clara County. Sitting next to me is Jeff Moreau of Bendit Cycling. Hi, Jeff. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks, Nate. Happy to be here.
Good. So, we're looking at a very unusual piece of equipment, and I'm familiar with biking, but you know, this is all a health episode, and can you just talk about what we're looking at?
Sure. Well, this is what's called a recumbent bicycle, and yes, it does look quite different than your standard bicycle, which we would call an upright bicycle by way of comparison. And the reason that it's called a recumbent is because recumbent describes the position that the rider is in. They're in a what's called a reclined or recumbent position, as opposed to being in, by contrast, a more upright position, which is what you'd see on a standard road bicycle.
So, how old are these things? What's a little bit of the history? I don't see these on the road very often.
Right, yeah, no. Well, actually, recumbent bicycles have been around for just about as long as standard upright cycles. They actually have a history that goes back to the 19th century, late 19th century. And for a little while, they were, from my understanding, and I'm not a bicycle historian, but they were vying for popularity with standard upright bicycles. They entered a recumbent cycle into some sprint races, from my understanding. There's sort of a second category rider was riding one of these on a cycle track, a 5,000 meter track. I think his name was Francis Farr. He was sort of a no-name cyclist. Wasn't expected to do very well. And in fact, I think when he entered with one of these, he was, ridiculed, with the usual, lying down on the job comments. But nevertheless, he dominated and set a number of world records. And that ultimately, I think, caused the cycling community, particularly the sport, to reevaluate this bike and ban it from competition, because they did discover that it was a more aerodynamic design. I mean, these bikes are more aerodynamic because you are lower in terms of your seated position and profile than an upright bike. So when you're dealing with professional cycling and the kinds of speeds that they're cycling at, there definitely is a significant advantage on tracks or flat ground in terms of aerodynamics. So I think rightly they banned it because they want the sport to be more about the rider and their ability rather than the machine. But the unfortunate side effect is that it sort of also banished these from the public perception and imagination, because most of the press and most of the attention is focused on the sport of cycling, and without an entry or a category for this type of cycle, it sort of began to fade from popular consciousness. So.
When you do biking, I'm sure it's healthy for you. I mean, you're working certain muscles, you get some cardio. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I think in particular with the recumbent design, I mean, like I said, there's trade-offs. There's advantages and disadvantages. But for most riders that are looking to get healthier, develop some cardiovascular fitness and all the other things that they would tackle bicycling to do, I think that the pros for this design far outweigh the cons. And one of the main problems that a lot of people have with standard bikes, and I had this too, was it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to ride for long distances. You typically are hunched over. There's a lot of pressure on your groin area in places that there ought not to be a lot of pressure. You can draw your own conclusions. There's a lot of pressure on your wrists, your neck. You have to crane up a little bit to see where you're going. So for a little while, that's not a problem. But over the long rides, if you're looking to develop a high level of cardiovascular fitness, that could be those sorts of that position can wear on you, and it can cause pressure points and so forth. Whereas the recumbent design is a lot more ergonomic. Your weight is more evenly distributed along your back. There's no pressure on your wrists. There's no craning of your head or neck. In a lot of ways, I mean, if I sum it up, I would say that riding this bike is about as comfortable as driving your car.
Wow.
And yeah, and you get just all the same cardiovascular benefits from riding a bike. I mean, even though it looks comfortable, it looks like you're lying down on the job, the bike isn't doing the work for you. You still got to pedal, you still got to, get from point A to point B. It takes the same amount of work and energy, but you're not doing it, you can do it for a longer period of time, and I think that you can enjoy the experience more as a result. So.
You and your partner at Bendit Cycling have gone into this attire, and you've done some century bike rides down in Southern California. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Right, yeah, so although these bikes aren't legal to enter into races, I mean, non-competitive organized tours like centuries or double centuries and whatnot.
And that's, for our viewers, that's 100 miles.
Right. or in the case of a double century, 200 miles
Right.
nominally. Yeah. So in those events, there's no restriction on what kind of bike. I mean, you can ride a unicycle in those bikes. So if you have fitness goals, those are great events. You can enter these bikes and ride and participate. So yeah. A friend of mine and I both started riding these bikes several years ago, and one of the things that disappointed us was how a lot of the cycling apparel was geared for upright cyclists. For example, most jerseys have pouches in the back so that you could store food or water bottles or whatnot. Well, clearly,
Yeah, you
sitting
can't do
down
that.
here, you can't. It's not very practical. So my friend Curtis decided to start Bendit Cycling and invited me along to participate with him in this venture to design some cycling apparel that catered to this class of cyclists. And so as a result, we've got a jersey here supporting the company logo with pouches strategically placed on the sides. So that
Not
we
the
could-
rear.
Not the rear, so that you could put, the same sort of thing, maybe little bits of food or first aid equipment or water bottles along the sides so that you can get to it while you're cycling on these bikes.
Maybe a cell phone?
Maybe a cell phone, yeah. We also designed some cycling shorts. One of the things you don't need on a recumbent cycle, because you're not sitting on a small saddle with a lot of pressure, you don't need the kind of padding that a traditional cycling short would have. So we designed cycling shorts without that specifically, so that you don't have, because on a recumbent cycle it's annoying actually to have that kind of a pad sort of on your bottom between your legs. So we removed that. We designed the shorts for recumbent cyclists, as well as these sorts of jerseys, and we have a variety of other things that we're working on specifically for recumbent cyclists that just you don't find out in the marketplace because there's just so few recumbent cyclists as a community.
Would you mind giving us a little demo and we'll take a look and see what it looks like?
Sure.
When Fry's decided to sponsor a PGA Open, it was at the second best golf course in California, Cordoval, located in the South Valley. And the gold medal winner at the 2010 San Francisco wine competition wasn't from the Napa Valley, it was Solis Winery, located in the South Valley. Of course, the South Valley has a lot more to offer than touting the best golf or wine. Whether you're looking for shopping, festivals, parks, or a variety of restaurants, you won't need a special occasion to come visit the South Valley. All you need is an average day.
Well, it looks like we're out of time. I'd like to thank all of my guests, Valerie Alves and Liz Stratman of Pacific Hills Manor, Dr. Brad Moreau, Smick Moreau Chiropractic, and Jeff Moreau of Bendit Cycling. Thanks for joining us here on Inside the South Valley. We'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.